Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Today I have a bottle from the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, and many of you know that I have this little deal going with them where every month they send me a bottle and I do a video on it. It's just extra content for you guys and it's an extra bottle for me, zero downsides. So this one's called a Junior Sweet at the Cask Resort, and this was actually named by a Neil Patrick Harris, which I think is great. I mean, who doesn't love Dr. Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, right? It's like the best thing he's ever known for. At least it's my favorite. I don't know. Is there anything I actually like him more in? I truly have watched that movie like more times than I can count. So anyway, let's go ahead and we'll give this a nose. We'll give it a taste. We'll talk about this a little bit, but while I'm letting this sit for just a minute, let me give you a couple of metrics about this. 15-year-old Speyside whiskey, distilled on the 14th of July 2006. Its initial cask is an Ex-Oloroso American Oak Butt, and a final cask of first Fill Ex-Oloroso Butt. And that makes a lot of sense. When you look at the color of this, it's very clearly influenced by sherry, right? It's 15 years old, so it's going to have some color, but this is pretty heavy color for 15. Now that being said, being in the first Fill Oloroso, we're expecting a lot of just kind of like red wine fruit notes from this as well, but with the American oak in there as well, it's going to probably take on some of the characteristics of a bourbon that you might like caramel and oak and maybe even honey or something, but we'll see what we actually get. This is the first pour I've done out of here. You can't really see that on the camera, but this is the first pour I've done out of here, so I haven't had a sip yet, but I'm excited to get into it, so let's do that. That is sugary. That is very sugary. It's honey. It's red berries, like not like strawberries, more like are candied raspberries a thing? I don't know. Candied something red. Smells very good though. It's light, well balanced. Nothing is sticking out considerably from other things, so that's tough to do, especially when you're finishing an Oloroso. I feel like it's always overwhelmed by those fruits, but there is a hint of oak in the nose here. It's not a ton. Yeah, overall just very pleasant. If I had to pick some fruits, like I don't like to cop out and just say fruits, right? So I'd say probably like figs are up there, or not really raisins. It's not that heavier flavor that you get with raisins. I find that like, not figs, dates. That's what it is, because it's sweeter and it's like yeah, like dates. I like that. I'm gonna go with that. All right, let's go ahead and have a taste. Cheers. Wow. Ooh, wow. What what ABV is that? 59.1. Okay, but I did not taste that until almost the last second here. So it is rare, as you could imagine, for me to have a flavor that I'm not used to getting, especially so potent and so right off the bat. I've had 1.5 million sherried whiskeys. In fact, that's probably one of my favorite kind of whiskeys. It's a nice sherried Scotch. This one is very different from a lot of things. So this, let's kind of get some stuff out of the way. I'm gonna layer this as far as my flavor notes here. So there is definitely a lower level, which is coming from that what is it? American Oak Butt, Ex-Oloroso American Oak Butt. Okay, so that's interesting. Anyway, I think I misspoke earlier. Ex-Oloroso American Oak Butt, so it's still Oloroso, just aged in a different kind of barrel than what I was expecting. But that being said, American, you're still going to be dealing with a lot of the same kind of notes. That being said, let's go with general flavors. We've got kind of like cereal grains going on. Let's say like a Cheerio, or like shredded wheat maybe. It's like a real like nice baseline that all the other flavors are living on. Do you guys picture flavor in layers in your head? That's how I do it. It's like, it might be weird. I don't really know. I'm sure many of you that aren't like, can't do this yet, which you should, probably don't do it that way. Maybe you're just like, oh, I taste this, I taste this, I taste this. I always think of it as like what's building on each other. And maybe it's just because I've been doing this for a while, but in my case, I'm tasting like Cheerios or cereal grains, a little bit of maltiness, just a tad. It's really not heavy on that. I think a lot of that is replaced by some of the sherry notes. Sitting on top of that is where you get into the sherry notes. You're getting, actually, let's go slightly to the side here. Lemon for sure, but like mild. There's kind of leading into orange, so it's like a very mild citrus. But then you're going into these red wine notes that, let me try another sip. The ABV kind of kills it after I'm starting to get a feel for what it is. So I'm actually gonna add a couple of drops of water here. Love when you could watch the oil kind of figure itself out because it's so high ABV. All right, let me try again. Okay, that helped a little bit. So now actually we are going a little bit more with that raisin flavor that I mentioned earlier. It's not as sweet as it was when I smelled it. It's what do I want to say here? I'm like going through a million different flavors in my head right now trying to figure out. So honeycomb is probably somewhere in there. Well, let's see. Let's give myself a little jump start. Dried figs and candied dates intertwined with peanut brittle. Do I taste peanut brittle? That's so funny. Candied dates. I nailed that. No, I don't taste peanut brittle. Lemongrass. Okay, I'll attribute that to the lemon. And thyme. I wonder if thyme might be that strange flavor that I first tried. Dessert may be on the table, but the night is just getting started. Okay. So, So this bottle's $170. And then I always ask myself, I am very aware that SMWS is like a premium product. You're paying for something exclusive. If you are in the market for something that you don't just buy off the shelf, is a great place to go to. So let's take $170 that this is worth and considering if that's worth it. What have I had in that range? Glenmorangie Signet, I got that for $180. And the Enoch 18, I think I bought for $130. That is one of my favorite whiskeys for sherry scotches, and this amps it up because of the higher ABV. So it's interesting. Once I watered it down a little bit, it brought out more of those like raisiny flavors, and if you like those, I think this is a good whiskey. But it's evolving a little bit. There's caramel flavors now coming out. That the water I think made a big difference. Aside from the caramel, the raisins are still there. They're muted a little bit more, so that's cool. It is potent flavor. It is very good. This might be a bottle I don't leave out on my shelf. I'm liking this one. I'm trying to decide whether me being the cheapskate that I am, if I would spend $170 on this bottle. I just came back. Let me put it this way. I just came back from going to Texas to the Bastards Ball. And I actually met up with Scott, who many of you know works for SMWS now. And he had me try a bunch of different bottles, which was wonderful. And I'm always impressed at the bold flavors that SMWS has, whereas I feel like things that are on the shelf need to be generally approachable. And that is both wonderful and kind of boring sometimes. Whereas SMWS, I don't feel ever has that restriction. If you buy it, you kind of know that you're going to get something unique. And I think that would be how I would justify the $170 price. I'm not going to nickel and dime. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, I'd be happy for like $155, but we're talking $15 for a premium product. That's certainly within a margin. Yeah, I would probably buy this for $170 if I was in the market for something unique. So a junior sweet at the Cask Resort. I'm going to give that my rating of buy it. I think if there's any of these left and you buy it, you will be very happy with it. Yeah. All right. So thank you very much for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. If you're interested in joining the SMWS, I have a link below. I don't believe I get a commission or anything like that. I'm just kind of doing this because it's a good deal and it's good whiskey. So, it's just there for your ease. All right. We'll talk soon and cheers.